why the Seahawks would be monumentally stupid to take a quarterback at 5 or possibly even trade up even higher to get one. We'll talk about it today on Hawk Takes. What up, 12s? Adam here. And the silly season is fully upon us. And we know that because, man, the headlines, they are out of control. I woke up to this nonsense this morning in my Apple News feed. This pissed me off that the Seahawks might be trading up to get Anthony Richardson. I mean, number one, I don't think you're going to need to. And why? And then the other article that he is worth the risk for the Seahawks and the Lions, obviously. Well, let me tell you something, man. The Seahawks would be stupid to take Richardson that high, or really any of these other quarterbacks except for maybe Stroud. And it ain't happening. I'm telling you that right now. And here's a few of the reasons. So, number one, that article earlier, they stated that, oh, well, the Seahawks are going to trade up to take Richardson. Well, their trade partner would have to be the freaking Cardinals. The Cardinals. You're telling me that a division rival is going to allow you to trade up with them in order to try to improve your quarterback situation for the near future? I'm pretty sure this guy, Monty Ossenfort, yeah, there's his name. We can just call him Mini Steve Keim, the new GM of the Cardinals. He's not doing that. There's no way in hell. So we can throw that out right now. The Seahawks are not trading up to take a quarterback. It's not happening. All right. Now, the second reason why it would be really stupid for the Seahawks to take a quarterback at 5. Are we really sure any of these guys are top 5 good? I went back through and I looked at all these guys. Look, I think Stroud has a possibility to be a really good quarterback throughout his career. He's almost a Geno Smith clone, really, if you break down his game film. Throws an amazing ball, very accurate, and he's pro ready. Now, not every prospect needs to be pro ready to become a good quarterback, and that's fine. A lot of these guys, they're saying, hey man, they need to sit for a couple years. Then why in the world would you go out and spend a top 5 pick on any of these other guys that need to develop over years? You basically burn up the majority of their cheapness on the rookie deal while you're waiting for them to figure out how to play football. Look, man, I'm telling you straight up, whether it's Bryce Young, Will Levis, Anthony Richardson, Hendon Hooker, I don't care out of any of those guys. None of those dudes are first-round quarterbacks. The only reason that they're being pushed up the way they are right now is because there are teams that are beyond desperate to get a quarterback because they don't know how to evaluate the position. They're just terrible at it. So I just don't think that the value is there in any of these guys. There's much better players that are potentially available going forward here in this draft if you don't waste that pick on freaking quarterback when you actually have a couple guys already in the fold. And that's reason number 2, right? We've got Geno, obviously, and we've also got Drew Lock as his backup. Look, the Seahawks have proven that they're good at taking a quarterback that's maybe been a career backup and turning him into a top 10 quarterback or a borderline top 10 quarterback, however it is that you view Geno. And they can do the same exact thing with Drew Lock if Geno happens to struggle this year, which he might. There's no guarantees, but there's no guarantees with these other quarterbacks either. Look, I just don't understand the rationale of going out and drafting somebody like Will Levis or Hendon Hooker or even Bryce Young. I mean, they're like 21, 23, 25. Drew Lock is only 26. Drew Lock is closer in age to those guys than he is Geno Smith. So, yeah, let's give Drew a little bit of time to develop and all that stuff. He's going to be a quarterback that has, well, at least he was a quarterback that had the same sort of talent in terms of upside as these other guys that aren't CJ Stroud. And he was a second-round pick, which all these other quarterbacks should be. So, number 2, you already got Geno and Locke, and Locke is actually pretty close to the same age as most of these guys that are coming out here. Number 3, I said earlier, the silly season is upon us, right? Holy smokes, these pro days. I am sick and tired of these pro days. Look, I can recall some of the hype that has come out of these, and this year is about as high as it gets. Anthony Richardson has his pro day yesterday. Pete and I think both Pete and John are there, or maybe it was just Pete. Either way, doesn't much matter. the hype train is off the rails. This is peak hype train right now. This is what you're seeing. It's that time of year. And let's just face it, Anthony Richardson, while a gifted, physical, amazing specimen, he's amazing that way. An amazing athlete. He can't play quarterback very well. He's not a very good quarterback. And he has very, very little experience in playing the position. Look, he is so much closer to being Trey Lance than he is Patrick Mahomes. And I don't care how everybody's like, oh, well, we've never seen this guy before. I mean, this is amazing. Like, all his tests are off the charts and all that crap. Man, I've heard this same crap over and over again throughout the years, right after pro days or right after the combine. I remember Jamarcus Russell being talked up as being the most amazing physical specimen to ever throw a football. He's huge. He's got a cannon. He could throw it to Mars. We all saw how that turned out. No, I'm not saying Richardson is like Russell in terms of character. It sounds like he's a really nice kid. But I've heard that hype. I remember hearing all about Kyle Bowler kneeling on the 50-yard line and then throwing the ball through the uprights during his pro day. Ooh, outstanding. Guess how that turned out for the freaking Ravens? Bowler was a bust. This happens all the time. It happens all the time. I remember Johnny Manziel having his pro day, and he wore his helmet. Ooh, everybody got all excited about that. Oh, he takes this so seriously. Look at this. This is revolutionary. Johnny Manziel wore a helmet during his pro day. Yeah, we all know how that turned out. So don't get sucked into the hype of these pro days, guys, because it is absolutely absurd. And look, the last reason here is Pete and John have been at all of these pro days, and they've been putting out the selfies, and they've been doing all that. Look, they are not putting out their primary plan that publicly, that obviously out into the public. They're just not doing it. They're not. So I don't think they're going to take any of these guys unless they do happen to drop to the second or third round. And if that happens, man, like if Hendon Hooker is there somewhere in the second, third round and you're able to pick him up, do it. Do it. Again, another guy who could be almost a Geno clone. Throws well from the pocket, plays in a weird-ass offense. They have those like really wide receiver splits, a lot like we run the ball out of that a few times every year. They actually throw the ball out of that, and it's really bizarre. So I don't know how that translates to NFL, plus with the ACL and all that. But he's a very accurate passer, and he stands in the pocket well, and he does all that stuff. So, look, guys, those are my main reasons here that I think it would be absolutely stupid to take a quarterback, and I don't think it's happening. Curious if you guys agree, disagree. Tell me down in the comments, guys. We try to respond to a lot of them. So if you're looking for a little feedback, leave your opinions there. Be sure to like and subscribe. And if you like a little bit more long form football talk and things of that nature, be sure to check us out on the audio side, the full flagship show, the Seahawks podcast. We put one out almost every week, and it's usually about an hour and a half of really insightful, funny, good, relaxed Seahawks talk. So give that a try one of these days. And I think with that, there's only one thing left to say. Go Hawks.